Hello and welcome friends for the first session of Solid Waste Management System. In this introductory session, we will discuss about the definition of the solid waste, various categories of solid waste management system, basic terminology that can be adopted for the solid waste, classification of solid waste, a perspective and objectives of solid waste management system, and introduction to integrated solid waste management system. As you learn this content, you will be able to define as well as classify solid waste with specific terminology, state the categories and objectives of solid waste management system, and will also be able to introduce concept of integrated solid waste management system. In fact, solid waste is inevitable content of any human activity. However, for the management aspect, the Bureau of Indian Standard has defined this particular solid waste in definite way. It can be expressed as solid or semi-solid domestic waste, including sanitary waste, commercial waste, institutional waste, catering and market waste, other non-residential waste, street sweepings, silt removed or collected from the surface drains, horticulture waste, agriculture and dairy waste, treated biomedical waste excluding industrial waste, biomedical waste and e-waste, battery waste, radioactive waste generated in the area under local authorities and other entities mentioned in solid waste rules. As and when we are in need of additional legitimate reference, we will have that reference to the rules, solid waste management rules, published in 2016 in India. As we refer to the various literature, we do not find the uniform expression for the expression of solid waste and its parts. Hence, for our academic interest, we will have this particular terminology. As we refer to the literature, refuse is synonymous term for the solid waste. So any material which has ceased its use, hence which is refused, can be treated as solid waste. But as far as engineering aspects are concerned, as far as management aspects are concerned, we won't be able to give proper justice to this particular term. Hence, we won't use this particular term refuse synonymous to solid waste. Garbage is nothing but the food waste. Whereas, as we consider this particular solid waste as a whole, its combustible and non-combustible part, excluding the garbage, can be treated as rubbish. Whereas, combustible portion of the rubbish will be treated as trash. As we think of this particular stream of solid waste, there will be many bulky portions in the form of discarded domestic machines, which would be treated as white goods. Whereas certain waste arising out of the construction and demolition activities will be treated as rubble. Hence, we'll consider that municipal solid waste as a waste which does not include construction, automobile, as well as this particular process waste. The synonymous term for it is refuse, which we won't be using for our further discussion. This particular solid waste would be categorized under two classes. One is garbage, which is nothing but the food waste, whereas the second part would be rubbish, which is nothing but combustible and non-combustible part of that particular solid waste. Here, the combustible part of that particular rubbish will be treated as trash, whereas the bulkier parts would be treated as white goods. As we consider this particular trash, which is combustible portion, inevitable part of it after the combustion is ash, about which we'll be discussing later. So, as discussed previously, we won't be considering this particular rubble, process, as well as this particular automobile waste as far as municipal solid waste is concerned. As we deal with the category of the waste, we can have this particular solid waste management systems named in the various ways. Say, for example, if we consider this particular solid waste and its source, the respective management system can be named as residential, commercial, institutional, and agricultural solid waste management system. Whereas, if that particular management system is expected to be dealing with a specific category, specific type, like garbage, rubbish, hazardous, combustible, and construction and demolition waste, based on its type, the management system can also be named. Popularly, as we think of this particular solid waste based on the basic sources such as municipal activity, industrial activity, and certain hazardous resources, will be able to name that particular management system as municipal solid waste management system, industrial solid waste management system, as well as hazardous solid waste management system. The kind of a discussion we wish to have under all these particular subsequent presentations is for municipal solid waste management system, which is generally used to describe the non-hazardous waste from any habitat which is not in liquid or gaseous form. As we think of this municipal solid waste management system now, we wish to have certain holistic view, and in that particular sense, we can put up it as a discipline associated with the control of generation, storage, transfer and transport, processing and disposal of municipal solid waste. We wish to have this defined in accordance with the best principles of public health, economics, engineering, conservation, aesthetics, as well as other environmental consideration. These two aspects must go with the public attitude also. As we are trying to discuss now with the municipal solid waste management system, we can have that particular basic objectives defined as to develop an engineering insight into the impact of solid waste on the environment. See, whenever we are dealing with the solid waste, we'll be dealing with so many aspects related with that, which could be varying from place to place, season to season, societal trends, and lot many other aspects. As we proceed further, we'll be able to understand more related with such trends. And as we try to understand such trends related with the solid waste, we'll be able to have more insight into the management system. Hence, we wish to have to develop an engineering insight into the impact of solid waste on environment. As well, we wish to have these particular solid waste reduced in the quantity by focusing on recovery of the materials as well as recovery of the energy. Just to start with, let's attach some terms for the management of municipal solid waste, and for time being, let's accept this as orderly execution of collection, reuse, recycle, and recovery, processing, and ultimately disposal. Under this particular collection, we wish to gather the solid waste. We will discuss this particular reuse, recycle, and recovery aspect in the subsequent slide. We wish to process that particular municipal solid waste for the preparation of the disposal, and the last thing, that is disposal, is the place where we wish to ultimately place the solid waste. So in this particular light, the municipal solid waste can be categorized, can be classified as organic and inorganic municipal solid waste. Further, this organic content can also be considered as biodegradable content as well non-biodegradable content. Further, the biodegradability can also be considered in terms of readily degradable or slowly or partially degradable. All these particular classifications we'll be using in our further discussion with a specific sense. At the outset itself, we also must understand that the public awareness is the key for successful waste management. The concept of solid waste management is not an individual's job. Will be involving lot many disciplines. Will be involving generator, will be involving the policymaker, will be involving even the legislation, even non-government organizations, their support, researchers, and similar disciplines. As lot many disciplines are coming together, we wish to have this particular municipal solid waste management system with a holistic approach. We cannot separate a single activity from the other. All that particular activities are interrelated with each other. All that particular activities are interlocked with each other. And hence, the coordination is must. As a concept of this particular integrated municipal solid waste management system, we wish to have the community participation for reduction, reuse, recycling, recovery, processing, and lastly, for disposal in the preferential order. That is, as a part of this particular integrated municipal solid waste management system, the first thing that we would like to have is the reduction. The reduction could be considered in many ways. Say, for example, we can reduce the demand of certain product by changing our lifestyle. So instead of using, say, 3 glasses a day, if we can satisfy our demand by using simply 2 glasses, we are changing our lifestyle, thereby reducing the likelihood of conversion of 1 glass into the solid waste. As well, in order to develop a certain product, we have to make use of certain raw material. As we establish the better control on that particular raw material, we'll be able to reduce the material requirement. As such, there will be less wastage and hence the reduction will be achieved. As well as every product has got certain longevity. It has got certain life. Say, if a certain product can be used for a period of 1 year instead of its common durability of 6 months, we will be able to reduce its quantity by almost half in the sense of generation of the solid waste. As well, say for example, if we think of certain PET bottle which is joining the stream of certain solid waste, it can be picked up, it can be cleaned, and hence it can be subject to another use. As such, without doing much of the things, we are trying to reuse the very commodity. Third thing is, there could be a lot many things joining a certain municipal solid waste stream. Say for example, if we think of certain rubber, say for example, certain tires, certain glass bottles. So the very material can be separated from the stream and it can be further brought in the utility chain directly. As such, material is getting recycled. Whereas, as we separate certain material from the waste stream, as we treat it as raw material, as we process it, and as we use that material in order to develop certain product, the terminology such as recovery can be used. Lot many material like plastics, paper, cardboard could be having high energy values. So, as we make use of such material for incineration and as we try to derive the energy out of it, the concept of recovery can be implemented. The processing term is very important. It can be used in multifaceted way. Say for example, as we separate out the material from the waste stream and as we transform it for the better reuse, better recycling, better recovery and effective disposal, the terminology processing can be adopted. Disposal is the last stage from where waste is not expected to come back in any kind of utility or recyclability or any other such stream. Here, we wish to have this particular integrated municipal solid waste management approach adopted and implemented in the preferential order. First is most preferred option, whereas sixth is least preferred option. So, thank you for attention, friends. This was just introduction. We'll be having series of presentations in order to understand the various aspects of municipal solid waste management. The coming presentation will be dealing with environmental impact of municipal solid waste. So bye till then, I wish you very happy learning. Thank you.